Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication all over the world through the lens of self-government, which is a principle of freedom. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what to do when on the verge of divorce. I've been working with couples now for many years. Some of them come to me when they've already filed for divorce and they're hoping to have one last little ditch effort to try to unify on how they will raise their children in a co-parenting situation. And they will talk to me about the family, about their relationships, about what they agree about and what they don't agree with each other on. And I notice some things about couples. There are some commonalities that many couples will share when they are at that moment when they think they have to call the relationship done. Now, I'm not saying that a person should not divorce because sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes, in fact, it's the only way. But there are sometimes some things that you can do to make sure that it really is the right direction to be going before you take that final step. And in this video, what I'd like to do is share with you some things that you can do to hopefully open a little bit of communication and start to make a plan for what you could do to fix a relationship, or at the very least, get the relationship workable if the marriage is not going to work out. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, I teach self-government. In fact, everything I talk about on this channel is talked about through the lens of self-government, which means that I am assuming that anyone who wants the information wants to go towards self-government. So let me define self-government for you, because this is important in answering this question. So self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you actually determine what it means to be the best version of yourself, meaning who ought you to be to other people and for yourself. What does that best version look like? Are they charitable, kind, giving, service-oriented? What does it look like to be the best you? Okay, so you get that picture in your mind. Then you make a plan for how you are going to become that person, because there might be times when you're not kind, you're not service-oriented, you're not caring and loving, but you get selfish. Because that could happen to anybody, right? How are you going to keep yourself on track toward becoming that version of you that you want to be? You've got to have a plan, a self-government plan. The first thing that you need to do is focus on governing you instead of on trying to control other people or strategize to get other people to do what it is that you want to do. Whether the divorce is impending for sure, or whether it's not for sure yet, do yourself and your spouse a favor and look at yourself and say, what do I need to change about me? Instead of what do they need to change about them to please me. Don't just focus on your feelings, your emotions, your wants. Don't be a doormat either, but even if you feel like the other person is mistreating you, there is work that you can do on you. You can decide still how to speak assertively, how to have calmness and kindness with the other person. That is step number one, and if you both do it, that can change everything. In a husband and wife relationship, it's important that we take time to understand each other. This also goes for if you break the relationship. Especially if you have children, that relationship is not over. That relationship will go on for a very long time. So try to understand the other person now so that hopefully whether the relationship stays intact or whether it breaks, you can have a level of understanding for each other for the long term. How do you seek to understand another person? Well, you need to be asking yourself, what might they be thinking or feeling about this? How might they interpret my words that I just said? Could I have said them in a better way? Do I need to change that outcome in some way by changing my words? Do I need to apologize for anything? Apologizing. What an amazing thing. It's a humble thing. It's something that's so hard to do. Especially, it is hard to do if you are in a place of pride. If you feel like I shouldn't have to apologize, they're the ones who did whatever, they should apologize, then that is a place of pride. You will not heal until you come to a place of humility, even if they have wronged you. So you need to feel like you always could apologize and that you would apologize, even if they won't. You've got to keep yourself grounded in truth and not in pride and selfishness. Otherwise, the divorce is for sure. Don't take things personally. So often we get into the position that we're in where we're wondering if the marriage can last because we have decided to take a whole bunch of things personally. Now I'm going to put my husband on the spot here for just a second, but just the other day, I gave him some sort of driving suggestion, like, hey, go over a lane or whatever. And he's like, don't tell me. All of a sudden, he just kind of snapped at me like, well, don't tell me how to drive. I've driven on this road before. And I thought, whoa, where did that come from? And I felt myself take it personally, like, I can't believe he just thought that I was trying to tell him what to do when I'm just, just in case he didn't know, because at first I saw the lane in the road and thought, oh, what if we just go down this? Oh, that lane has to only turn right. We better switch lanes. I was thinking of it as the driver myself and just, transferring the information over to him. And he kind of snapped at me. And I took that personally. And I have to admit, I did not think calm thoughts about my husband. And I tried to use a calm voice, but I honestly can say that I should have waited just a little bit until I could fully let it go and recognize, hey, you've got the problem. As we're driving down the road in silence, right? I'm thinking to myself, Nicholeen, why did you take that personally? And then I thought, well, because he took it personally. And then I thought, well, why did he take it personally? I don't know. How could I know? But if I ask him that, that's not going to be good timing right now. So the only thing I can do is choose not to take it personally. It was one little statement, and he might have been stressed over something or thinking something else or feeling like I was controlling the driver. I don't know what. But in the end, I don't have to take it personally, even if he is. So keep that in mind. Don't take things so personally. When somebody says something to you, don't take it emotional. Don't take it personal. In fact, leave the words hanging out there a little bit. Analyze them. See what you need to understand from those words. And then maybe you can come to more understanding with your spouse instead of immediately going to battle. I've got some more tips for you, things that you should consider before you get to a divorce and how to help that communication. But before I do, click the subscribe button now. There are so many great videos here on this channel that are going to help with your self-government. Also, if you happen to have children, they're going to help with the children's self-government too. And we all need more of that. So click subscribe now. Here's another tip for you. Serve each other. Even if the person has offended you, think of something that you can do nice for them. Help them in some way. Think, what would they appreciate? Not just what you want to do to get them to do something else. That's called strategy. Don't go there. Instead, truly want to serve that other person. Service increases love, just like gratitude increases love. And when you truly serve another person, that's actually a sign of you loving that person. Another tip I have for you is to have good communication skills. It's important to know how to communicate in a way that is effective. Sharing your emotions all the time is not very effective. In fact, feelings are real. They need to be talked about, but there is a time and a place for talking about them. People constantly make the mistake of dumping their emotions out on other people because they want people to understand their feelings, and that puts them in a selfish place, and it makes the other person feel like they have been emotionally vomited on or emotionally walked on. This creates distance in a relationship, not closeness. So what can you do to improve communication? Well, you can have a certain type of a meeting that you've established. In our family, we have a couples meeting that we have every week. This gives me and my husband the opportunity to communicate about things that might be bothering us, which means, yes, sometimes I save a topic for 5 or 6 days before I even discuss it with him, because I feel like I want to have that discussion at a time where there's no tension around that particular topic at all. I just want to discuss it openly and calmly in a way that doesn't seem like we're really even connected to it anymore, so that we can make logical decisions for the future. Also, praise each other. That's good, effective communication. And how will you correct each other? Sure, husbands and wives have to correct each other sometimes. What does that look like? Well, oddly enough, the principles that you use to correct a child are actually the same for correcting another person. So make sure to find out how I teach correction in the Teaching Self-Government Way, and focus in particular on the first 3 steps of an effective correction. There are certain skills that I teach parents to teach their children. Skills like following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. These skills are not just for children. They are actually for everyone. Sometimes in the husband and wife relationship, we have to follow instructions from each other. I will often say to my husband, "Hey honey, I need you to take this to the trash for me," or "Hey honey, I need you to stop at the store and to pick up some milk." That's an instruction, and he follows it. He has no problem following it. And he gives me instructions too. He might say something like, "Honey, I need you to bring the truck over to the mechanic shop and pick me up because I'm going to have to leave my car for a while." Okay, no problem. Now, does he also ask kindly sometimes? Sure, but should I have to be asked kindly every time? No, that's entitlement. We can instruct each other. We work together as a team. That's how we function best. So that's a good thing for us to be able to do. We also need to accept no answers and criticism from each other. We are each other's coaches, companions, guides. We help each other along as we pull equally together. That means that sometimes we're going to have to tell each other no for things, because that's not the way that's going to be good for our relationship. Or maybe we have to give each other criticism about things. Like, "Hey, when you use that type of phrase to me, especially in front of other people, I don't feel like that gives the right impression about our relationship," or "I don't think that brings the right attention to us," or whatever it is. You can tell them certain things like that, and hopefully they can acknowledge those natural consequences. That's right. We all have to accept natural consequences for our behavior all the time. So there comes accepting consequences too. But my favorite one for the husband and wife relationship, and this should be the one that you focus on a lot, is disagreeing appropriately. In fact, I have whole videos dedicated to the skill disagreeing appropriately. There are 7 steps to disagreeing appropriately. It helps a person understand somebody else's point of view and share their point of view in an understanding and kind way, but also be able to drop the subject when the other person does not choose to care or take their point of view seriously. Because why would we hold on to it forever? There's no reason to hold on to emotions that are going to hurt us and damage our relationship, especially if it's not about something that's super important. So learn the steps of those 4 basic skills, teach them to your children if you have children, and if not, use them for yourself in your own life, because everyone needs the 4 basic skills. I know that this is a really difficult time, that you're thinking about something you never thought you'd be thinking about before. Divorce. That's hard. And I've shared some tips. Here's some additional tips that I think are going to help. Live with purpose each day. That's important. You cannot spend your days trying to just change the other person. Live on purpose, with purpose. You become more attractive to that other person, and you have more to talk about. Tell yourself the right thoughts. There are thoughts that keep playing in your head that are negative about that other person that actually are a canker. They are a disease to you. Even if the marriage doesn't work, tell yourself the right thoughts about that person. Be charitable in your own mind. Think of things that are true and good about that person and fill yourself with goodness instead of those feelings of darkness, frustration, anger, and pain, because those are only going to hurt you in the end, not the other person. If you have children, get unified on how you will communicate and manage the children. In fact, if you need to, sign up for the Teaching Self-Government Parenting course. We call it the TSG Parenting course on teachingselfgovernment.com. That's going to help you. There are many families, even though they're co-parenting and they're no longer married, use the same principles so that they can have consistency for their children. It hurts your children if you're not on the same page in your parenting. Finally, look ahead. Right now, look ahead for 3 months and say to yourself, if I work on me, if we work on our communication, what could we become in our relationship 3 months from now? Look ahead 3 months and say, okay, who do we want to be in 3 months? Articulate it, write it down, then make concrete steps for how you're going to get there. Include having a weekly couples meeting where you discuss your couple relationship and other things related to your family, and check up on how you're doing at achieving your 3-month goal. Make a deliberate choice to fix things in your marriage. That's probably the single most important thing that I could tell you. Make a deliberate choice to work on it. Still, this does not mean that your marriage was meant to be and it's for sure going to be fixed. But take a moment and just practice being deliberate in your marriage for 3 months. If that works, make a 1-year plan and be deliberate for 1 year. And if that works, chances are you probably can last it forever, which is, I know, what you wanted in the first place. Nothing breaks my heart more than seeing a marriage fall apart. It is hard. Lots of times we have expectations for each other, and people don't meet those expectations, and it can feel painful and overwhelming. I have an additional help for you. It's called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. It's a full class that I gave here on this channel. I highly recommend watching that video next so that you can recognize if you might be creating an expectation trap for you in your marriage, or if your expectation is leading you to the cycle for success. So click on the link to The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success now.